top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Berbice woman awarded $2.2 million for unlawful arrest, detention by police. Opposition leader renews call for COI into deadly Madhya dormitory fire. Rape allegations leveled against local government minister, and woman busted at CJIA with cocaine in biscuit wrappers, jailed, fined $16.7 million. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Aletha Grant with the Friday, June 16, 2023 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. Tiana Cole begins tonight's newscast with a report that a woman who was unlawfully arrested by members of the Guyana Police Force in 2020 has been awarded $2.2 million by Chief Justice Roxanne George for breaching of her constitutional rights. Find out more in this report.
The woman, Rihanna Reginald, was unlawfully arrested by members of the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, on November 7, 2020, and kept in custody until November 11, 2020. The woman was detained in both the New Amsterdam and Sisters Village police stations, where she was subjected to cruel and inhumane treatment. She was also deprived of her right to speak with her family or even her attorneys at law. Through her attorneys Dexter Todd and Dexter Smart, she sued the state seeking a declaration to her fundamental rights guaranteed under Articles 1391 and 141 of the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, 1980, which she claims were violated by the state and its agent by imposing cruel and inhumane treatment, false imprisonment, and wrongful deprivation of liberty on the 7th to the 11th of November 2020. She also sought compensation from the state for those breaches of her rights. In January 2022, the Chief Justice ruled that Ms. Reginald was indeed unlawfully arrested and detained by members of the Guyana Police Force. The matter proceeded to trial for a decision on compensation. At trial, the court heard from Reginald how she was deprived of her right to an attorney and she was not told the reason for her arrest. Further, she was forced to stay in a cell with human feces and urine on the floor of the cell, since the toilet present in the facility was not operational. She explained how she was forced to sleep on the concrete floor filled with filth, human feces, and urine, accompanied by a strong stench, while on her menstrual cycle. As a consequence of the police's unlawful actions, Reginald suffered humiliation, distress, embarrassment, and emotionally and mentally traumatized. In a ruling on damages compensation, the Chief Justice awarded a total sum of $2.2 million to the woman for the breaches of her fundamental rights. It must be noted that members of the Guyana Police Force are not above the law and cannot arrest any citizens without a lawful reason. The rights of all citizens are enshrined in the Constitution of Guyana, and the rights provided under the said Constitution must be protected by the judiciary, the lawyers reminded. Tiana Ko reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
We need a vibrant and proactive opposition who is capable of holding government accountable for misdoings. That's according to Shazam Ali, executive member of the Citizenship Initiative, as he opined that the current opposition is too passive. However, opposition leader Aubrey Norton says Ali knows not of what he speaks.
On Wednesday, the Citizen Initiative, TCI, launched its campaign in the lead-up to the 2025 general and regional elections. The campaign launch also included the upcoming 2026 local government elections. Shazam Ali, a TCI executive member, in an interview with Nightly News said that the party's intentions are to reform the geopolitical landscape, among other campaign policies. While the focus is to attain sufficient votes in Parliament, there is a dire need for a proactive opposition, he posited.
That's something we're going to be focusing on, trying to get seats in Parliament. Right now, we need a viable opposition to hold the government accountable
While the opposition may be critical of the current administration's leadership style, it however lacks proactivity, he opined. According to him, the People's National Congress reform requires a new and vibrant leader who is capable of effectively holding the government's feet to the fire. You're suggesting that they should be more proactive and not reactive.
They should be more proactive. Right now, I don't think they do not have a good opposition leader there as well. There's a great need for better leadership in the APNU, AFC.
However, opposition leader Aubrey Norton has this response to Ali's utterances.
I don't know who Mr. Ali is, but anybody who believes we are proactive, something has to be wrong with them. We have just taken on the most formidable force in this country, the People's Progressive Party. I think the local government election is in many regards a reaffirmation by our people, the APNU supporters, that they have confidence in my leadership.
Ali, who contested the recently held 2023 local government elections, attained 110 votes. He contested in the constituency number 1, which includes Bel Air Springs and Gardens, Kingston and Campbellville, under the Georgetown municipality. Though satisfied with the votes attained, Ali, however, believes he could have done better in relation to groundwork.
If I had put more boots on the ground, maybe I could have gotten a lot more votes, but I'm very satisfied with the results of this past local government election.
He also called for the reformation of the current Ghana Elections Commission, GCOM.
Just put one, and then take members of different society groups, whether religious, ethnic, and so on, put them into GCOM, so it make GCOM a more diverse group.
The elections body should be diverse and not only consist of government and opposition commissioners, Ali suggested. The TCI is currently finalizing its manifesto. Rhonda Ann Lam, Dylan Moffett, Cerise Taylor and Kemwati Sinarang are among the TCI executive members. Antonia Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Minister of Local Government and Regional Development Nigel Darmlal, who was accused last year of harassing a 22-year-old New York-based woman, is now being accused of raping a minor. More in this report.
An underage girl has accused the Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Nigel Darmlal, of raping her last year. HGP Nightly News was reliably informed that several senior members of the Ali-led administration are aware of the allegation. In fact, one minister was put in charge to validate the claim. This newscast attempted to contact Darmlal for a comment, but all the calls went unanswered. Commenting on the issue was the former Natural Resource Minister under the Granger-led regime, Simona Brooms.
It is the third case. It is the third case where I've seen evidence, whereas ministers of government, allegations are leveled against them with rape. And what is troubling for me is that, you know, even people like to talk about speak out, even when persons speak out, they get a cover-up.
Brooms has for years been at the forefront of the fight to help women and girls. In 2012, she started the Ghana Women Minors Association to combat human trafficking within mining communities. The organization has rescued hundreds of girls and women, provided aftercare services, sent survivors to school, and advocated heavily at the regional and national levels. She noted that too often when victims speak out, they are usually suppressed.
For me, this is terrible because this is damaging our young women, it is damaging our young men, and it's ridiculous. I hope and I know that an investigation is going about.
Last year, Darmlal was accused of harassing a 22-year-old New York-based woman for sexual relations. When President Irfan Ali was asked about the matter, this was his response.
If someone has an allegation against somebody, in whatever shape and form, they have to report those allegations. They have to report those allegations because the minister would have said to me that his phone was lost.
you might be out there and raping people, girlfriend and all of that innocently, and you believe because you got money or position, it is hidden. Listen, it's one thing I want to say. Anything happen behind closed door, God knows, right? And He sees. And whatever you sow, you're going to reap.
Renata Burnett, reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Though disappointed that his party has lost in the municipalities of Georgetown and Linden, People's Progressive Party Civic General Secretary Barry Jagdeo says he's happy that he has trounced a partnership for national unity in a number of local authority areas. Antonio Day has the details.
This was Jagdeo at his party's press briefing on Thursday.
We increase our votes, they had a decline, and we increase our votes in Georgetown by 78%. With maybe another few hundred votes, we could have flipped the city because we lost about 3 or 4 constituencies narrowly.
He's adamant that his party would have won the municipalities of Georgetown and Linden, which historically are known APNU strongholds. APNU amassed 20,839 votes, while the People's Progressive Party Civic 12,553 for the Georgetown municipality. As for Linden, APNU trounced the PPPC in that municipality after securing 8,002 votes. The PPPC should have done more work in those areas, Jagdeo posited. However, trouncing APNU in areas like Bartica is a monumental win for the PPPC.
This is your stronghold. You got a trashing in your stronghold because of the campaign that people wage, our candidates. We went to every home.
In relation to the local authority area of Mocha Arcadia, Jagdeo claimed that his party had made inroads even though APNU secured 1,324 votes, while the PPPC scraped up a meager 219.
We had a massive increase in our votes. Massive increase in our votes in Maka. You check that yourself. Do the homework. Massive increase in Maka.
In 2018, the PPPC got 17 votes in Maka, while APNU amassed 821. Meanwhile, coming off the topic of the local government election results, Jagdeo reported that a draft of Guyana's new petroleum bill is slated to be released on Monday, June 19th.
We're hoping by Monday the draft Petroleum Act will be put out for public consultation.
The 1986 Petroleum Act are among legislation governing Guyana's nascent oil and gas sector, but many have clamored for its amendment since it is deemed archaic. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thanks, Antonio. After this break, we will come back with more news. Stay with us.
We got stoves, cook it, fry it, bake it, stew it, poach it, eat it, drink it, slurp it. At Quartz, you can get it. We got fridges, slurp it, chill it, freeze it, store it, crisp it, pack it, and stack it. At Quartz, you can get it. Wash or dryer it, wash it, fluff it, spin it, dry it, clean it, fold it, wear it, assort it, and soak it. Rinse it, load it. FDA gon' make you blend it, crush it, toast it. At Quartz, you can get it.
We at SNL Electrical Agency believe that a good design begins with a great lighting plan. From ambiance lighting to statement chandeliers. Trendy LED fixtures, we've got it all. Layering your homes with lights is the key to creating spaces that welcome, comfort, and inspire. SNL Electrical Agency, importers and distributors of all electrical lamps, solar lights, cables, circuit breaker panels, AC units, and so much more. SNL Electrical Agency, 179 to 180 Thomas Street, Kitty. Telephone 226-3018, 223-1634.
With 70% ethyl alcohol, Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer eliminates 99.99% of all germs and even moisturizes in the process, leaving your skin clean and hydrated. Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer. How do you stay clean?
Krishna Roth Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating, machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara, or call 220-9624, 616-9416, or 619-7880. At Krishna Roth Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Thanks for staying with us. You're with the HGP Nightly News. As we continue with the news, a woman who was busted last year attempting to smuggle cocaine through the Chedijagan International Airport has been jailed and fined $16.7 million. More details in this report.
60-year-old Unique Sunshine London of Haslington, East Coast, Demerara, was on Friday sentenced to 4 years behind bars and fined $16.7 million for attempting to smuggle cocaine through the Chedijagan International Airport. London was on trial before Magistrate Suna Skiers at the Diamond Magistrates Court. When she first appeared in court last year, she pleaded not guilty to the charge. She was arrested on September 14, 2022, and charged with the offense of possession of 11.188 kilograms of cocaine for the purpose of trafficking. On the day in question, ranks of the Customs Anti-Narcotic Unit at the Chedijagan International Airport intercepted London with the cocaine concealed in biscuit wrappers in her carry-on luggage. She was taken to Kanu's headquarters, where it was revealed that the cocaine had a street value of $12.3 million. Tiana Co reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Almost a month after the deadly Madhya dormitory fire that claimed the lives of 20 children, opposition leader Aubrey Norton is renewing calls for the urgent establishment of a commission of inquiry to hold those responsible for the tragedy accountable. Here is more from Renata Burnett.
Leader of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, has renewed calls for the urgent establishment of a commission of inquiry, COI, into the death of 20 children who lost their lives in the Madhya dormitory fire in May. At a recent press conference, Norton said President Irfan Ali is utterly failing the grieving families and the nation by shamefully dragging his feet on the establishment of the urgently needed COI.
Getting the call for the COI, we still maintain that call. We will think that there must be a COI, but we also say that it must be done in a way that it is acceptable to all. It must be credible. The stakeholders must be involved.
Norton opined that the government should have commenced engaging stakeholders for the COI mere days after the incident.
Why it should take more than a week to begin the process of engagement, and once we agree on the terms of reference, then we can go ahead and act the COI.
While Norton opted not to speculate on government's reason for the delay, he proffered that such an investigation is not one that the Ali-led administration will welcome, since they will be found culpable. Persons within the diaspora have also been calling for a COI to be convened, Norton said, while urging the international community to add its voice to the issue. Norton said his party continues to work with those affected by the fire.
In fact, this morning I had some conversation with one who's trained to deal with mental health in these circumstances, and we're looking at how we can get that person at some stage into the villages to help, etc. So, yes, we have been in contact.
On May 21, a fire erupted at the Madhya Secondary School dormitory, which resulted in the death of 20 children. A 15-year-old girl has since been remanded for maliciously setting the fire. Renata Burnett, reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The alleged shooter, who police said confessed to killing Ghana Defense Force Lieutenant Rondell Douglas during a robbery, has been charged with murder and remanded to prison. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
Joshua Paris called Stewie of Section C, Block Y, Sophia, Greater Georgetown, was hauled before Chief Magistrate Sheridan Isaacs Marcus at the Georgetown Magistrates Court. Paris was not required to plead to the capital offense, which alleged that on June 8, 2023, at Cul-de-sac Street, North Rumvelt, during the course or furtherance of a robbery, he murdered Douglas. He was remanded to prison. According to a police report, Douglas, a licensed firearm holder and resident of Bagotville, would usually use his motor car, a Toyota Fielder wagon, bearing registration PZZ 703, to do part-time work as a taxi driver with Aladdin Taxi Service, which is located at LaGrange, West Bank, Demerara. The owner of the taxi service told police that on the day in question, an identifiable male went to the taxi base and hired the victim to transport him. But a resident of Cul-de-sac Street said at around 22:30 hours, he was at home and he heard a loud explosion, suspected to be a gunshot, which caused him to look out his window. He reportedly saw a white Fielder wagon motor car heading out of the area at a fast rate of speed and a person lying on the ground in a pool of blood. According to reports, Paris reportedly told detectives that he received a telephone call from a friend who informed him that he had a work for him. That is to steal a car, since he had already had a buyer willing to pay $700,000. As such, a plan was concocted. The man then proceeded to Aladdin Taxi Service, where he requested Douglas to transport him to Georgetown. It was reported that while on their journey, one of the men asked Douglas to stop so that he can purchase some Superbet credit. It was then that he attempted to pull Douglas out of the car, and he put up a resistance, and Paris allegedly pulled out a gun and discharged a round in his direction before making good their escape. Tiana Co reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thanks, Tiana. More news after this break.
Cleanup, we can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at...
Oh my lord! I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup!
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
These nice products I spoke with proper things. Peppies, you get the best and these things. Oh no, bless up.
Okay. Pack up these things. Yellow, you put the things in the car.
Loving you is easy cause you're beautiful. Do-da-do-da-do. I love you, and you, and you, and you, and you. I love all of you.
Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
And you. I love Peppy.
We got stoves, cook it, fry it, bake it, stew it, poach it, eat it, drink it, slurp it. At Quartz, you can get. We got fridges, slurp it, chill it, freeze it, store it, crisp it, pack it, and stack it. At Quartz, you can get it. Wash or dryer it, wash it, fluff it, spin it, dry it, clean it, fold it, wear it, sort it, and soak it. Rinse it, load it. SDA gon' make you blend it, crush it, toast it. At Quartz, you can get it.
You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Welcome back. Over 2 weeks after the St. Angela's Girls Hostel in Karasabay Village, Region 9 was destroyed by fire, 4 schoolboys have been charged with a crime and remanded to the Juvenile Holding Center. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
The 4 teenage boys who were arrested on June 1, 2023 were jointly charged with the offense of setting fire to a building, contrary to Section 140 of the Criminal Law Offences Act, Chapter 801. The boys, who cannot be named for legal purposes due to their ages, appeared at the Letta Magistrates Court on June 13, 2023, before Magistrate Alan Wilson, where the charge was read to them and they were not required to plea. The teenagers were then remanded to the Juvenile Holding Center until July 13, 2023 for report. According to reports, the fire started around 03 hours on Thursday, June 1. At the time of the fire, the building was occupied by 17 female students, ages 11 to 16, and 2 dorm mothers. They all escaped unarmed. Investigators later revealed that the fire was an act of arson. According to reports, one of the women who managed the hostel had said the threats were reportedly made the day before the building was set alight. Villagers claimed that when the fire first started, they saw some boys riding away from the hostel. Following the fire, an investigation was launched, and police contacted the 4 schoolboys in the presence of the regional commander, the regional education officer, and their parents. The 4 students reportedly confessed the planning and the execution of the crime. The encounter came less than 2 weeks after the fire at the female dormitory at the Madhya Secondary School, located in Region 8, which killed 19 girls and a 5-year-old boy. Tiana Co reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The 9 delegates who are fiercely competing for the coveted Miss Guyana Culture Queen crown plans to leave everything on the stage come coronation night. Renata Burnett sat down with some of the delegates and filed this report.
With 1 week remaining until the coronation for the local leg of the Miss Caribbean Culture Queen pageant, 9 delegates are anticipating their final walk across the stage of the National Culture Center to showcase why they deserve to be crowned Miss Guyana Culture Queen. On Friday, Nightly News sat down with 3 of the contestants who spoke at length about their journey thus far and what it would mean to win the crown. 26-year-old Denicia Henry, a counselor and children's rights activist and the only Berbetian shortlisted for the competition, said this is her first international pageant and one that has tested her resilience in the face of adversity. Winning the crown would give her a larger platform to expand her network in pursuit of her passion.
Allow me to meet with policymakers and sit in rooms and say to these individuals that listen to me, it is high time that we streamline our visual arts and our performing arts in not just Central Georgetown, but in every single region in Guyana.
Meanwhile, other contestants, Lisa Hassan and Kwesiana Udo, who are pursuing a higher education, are no strangers to the pageantry stage, as they have each competed in teen pageants, said this current competition has positively influenced their lives. They related what it would mean to win.
For me, Miss Guyana Culture Queen is not just about one thing in particular, but what stands prominent or more dominant to me would definitely be inclusivity. More times than enough, especially being of the mixed race, you do see a bit of prejudice coming out. We have so many talented young women and men in our country.
Winning the crown would obviously mean the carrying a torch, because it's a great responsibility.
As for the coronation night, the delegates said Guyana can expect a production as they intend to leave everything on the stage.
Said inclusivity, you're going to see the arts, you're going to see everything. It's going to be an unforgettable evening. Ooh, I can't wait.
Have you seen these ladies? Gorgeous.
Like, definitely.
Right.
The last leg of the Miss Guyana Culture Queen coronation night will be held on the 24th of June at the National Culture Center. The winner will move on to the regional stage in St. Kitts and Nevis in August, where they will be competing among other Caribbean contestants for the coveted title of Miss Caribbean Culture Queen. Renata Burnett, reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news with Tiana Cole.
Extra presents Creek Flag 2023 live on stage. Trinidad and Tobago, Lady Lava.
Y'all get on it's Lady Lava, Queen of the Freak, and I will be live in Guyana on the 2nd of July. Aziza, Kusta, Linden Highway, I'll come out and represent.
Lady Lava.
You have a girl well I like him more. You have a girl well I like him more.
Ready. Miss Grip Grip. On Sunday, July 2nd at Aziza Kuza's Creek. Early bird tickets $1,500. Wow, stock slash. Ticket location: White Castle Fish Shop, Just Your Size Boutique, Orange Walk, Fireside Grill, Highway Cafe, Suicide Junction, and Extra Beer, Starbuck Market location. Compliments of Fireside Grill and Extra Energy Drink. Team Extra and the one-man band presents the band's birthday. Celebrating 30 years of one-man band in Guyana. 10 of the best one-man bands all across Guyana and New York for one night, one stage on Saturday the 24th of June 2023 at the National Park. Side attraction: Granny performs live. Dancing competition: Walls 30,000. Dance hall 30,000. The oldest couple at the party wins $30,000. Early bird $1,500. Wow, stock slash. Ticket location: White Castle Fish Shop, Just Your Size Boutique, Orange Walk, Fireside Grill, Highway Cafe, Suicide Junction, and Extra Beer, Starbuck Market location. Compliments of Fireside Grill and Chill and Extra Beer. The band's birthday.
Good evening and welcome to Friday's edition of the Regional News. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and several members of Cabinet have met with Chief Justice Ivor Archie to discuss the administration of justice in the country. The judiciary in a statement stated only that the meeting was for the purpose of discussing matters pertaining to the administration of justice. Quote unquote, the meeting addressed administrative and logistical strategies to bring those components of the justice system under the control of separate arms of the state into more effective alignment and speed up justice delivery, stated the release. The judiciary said the meeting came to an end with a commitment to meet periodically to ensure that progress remains on course. Prime Minister Rowley at an event in March opined that the delivery of justice in Trinidad and Tobago was too slow. He said that then government had given priority, providing hundreds of millions of dollars in resources to the judiciary in the form of an increased number of masters, judges, courts, and the removal of traffic cases out of the system. Quote unquote, I was shocked to see the state as a prosecutor asking for an extension on a matter that has been before the court for 7 years, Rowley recalled, noting that magistrate to whom the application was made denied the request. The Prime Minister said another matter has been tied up in the preliminary inquiry stage for 20 years. He said it was not fair for people on remand who had been waiting for years for their day in court. The Caribbean Examination Council has announced that regional examinations scheduled for this week will proceed as scheduled. On Wednesday, June 14, the regional examination body reported that a fireproof cabinet containing examination papers for 9 subjects scheduled to be administered this week were stolen from a school in Jamaica. In a release issued Thursday afternoon, CXC said to date there has been no confirmation that the cabinet has been compromised. Following consultations with regional ministries of education, the decision was made that the exams be administered as planned. Canada will coordinate an aid operation to Haiti this summer in response to the Caribbean nation's volatile security, Canadian Foreign Minister Melanie Joly said, while announcing fresh sanctions against a former politician and a famous singer. Canada will lead the effort from the Dominican Republic, Joly told a ministerial meeting in a bid to coordinate international aid, including funds, equipment, and technical support for the country's embattled police force. Jolly did not say why Canada would work out of the neighboring country, which has deported tens of thousands of Haitians fleeing the crisis, but said its team would also work from Haiti's capital Port-au-Prince. Canada will also donate a further $13 million to United Nations security and anti-corruption projects, she added. Haiti's caretaker government has since October requested an international force to help its police fight powerful and heavily armed gangs who control large parts of the country, fueling a humanitarian crisis that has displaced tens of thousands. Thank you for watching. I'm Tiana Cole.
Berbice woman awarded $2.2 million for unlawful arrest, detention by police. Opposition leader renews calls for COI into deadly Madhya dormitory fire. Rape allegations leveled against local government minister, and woman busted at CJIA with cocaine in biscuit wrappers, jailed, fined $16.7 million. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Alethea Grant. Happy Father's Day to all our fathers out there. Thanks for watching.